Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I am Amy with Growing Your Faith, and today we are going to talk about making a small little journal for the month. So you can use this journal for scripture writing, you can use it for, well, anything. You could use it for a planner, you could use it for journaling out your prayers, or you could use it as a blessing book. I've started one of those after reading the 7 Levels of Communication, and I absolutely love it. So what I'm going to be doing this month in my journal is our October Facebook group plan, and we are going to go through different themes. Normally what we do at Growing Your Faith one page at a time is we go through entire books of the Bible and we scripture write or Bible study the entire book. But we just finished up Romans, and we're not starting a new book of the Bible until January. So I wanted to do something a little different, a little fun. So I created a different kind of plan for us. All of the information will be in the Facebook group, and you can find that down in the description down below. So make sure you head over there and join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of connection, a lot of sharing, and I am excited to work with everybody and chit chat and all of that. So this is the plan that I am going to be putting in my journal. It's got a theme each week, a scripture, a journaling prompt, and some encouragement. And you can journal as much or as little as you like. You can do Bible journaling pages, or you can just stay inside of a journal like I am going to do. I will do some Bible journaling pages probably, but so let me show you what we're going to create today. So we are just going to create just a very simple journal. Now you can use whatever cover you want, and I'll talk more about this in a little bit, but I'm just using a plain journal cover because I'm going to decorate it. This is just a blank card, like a completely blank card. That's all this is. And then this inside of it is some paper that I absolutely love because it looks kind of like an antique-y paper, and I absolutely love it. All the links will be in the description down below. So if this paper is something that you want, you can check it out down there. I buy it all the time because I love it. And then we'll just need some twine and an awl or a small hole punch and some sort of a darning needle. And I think that's pretty much it. And then something to trim your pages with. So if you don't want to use a plain cover like this, I'll give you some more options in a minute for your cover, but you could also use any type of card that is blank on the inside. Any type of card that you can find that's blank. So they make some really, really pretty blank cards so that you can decorate the card on the inside. This actually came in a kit. It came in the same kit that I just made the journal out of that is for sale on my website. As of the time of recording this video, I only have one, and so it is for sale. There's also a video up on YouTube that I just posted Saturday, and you can check that out if you're interested in seeing what the journal looks like. But I don't know how long it'll be up there. Well, the video will be up there, but I don't know how long the journal will be on the website for sale because it's the only one that I have. Okay, so yeah, so any type of card will work for this project. So again, this is what we are going to be making today. So let's jump right in and get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our cover, and again, this can be any card that you want it to be. It can even just simply be a piece of construction paper. It can be a piece of construction paper with printed paper on it. So the kit for this will have some printed papers, and you can check that out in the shop. So you could take one of those papers and print it out on cardstock and then use that as your cover if you wanted to, or just blank cards. I love blank cards because they're ready to go. And because they come in really, really pretty designs, like I showed you with this peacock one, and it just looks really cool. You could kind of antique the edges, and that would be just a really pretty cover for a journal. Okay, so you are going to want your paper to be just a little bit smaller than your card. So this is going to be different for everybody depending on what you picked. My usual game plan is to cut this side a 1/2 inch and this side a 1/2 inch. That gives me a 1/4 inch all the way around. Does that make sense? You will need that space. Well, you want it to be a little bit smaller anyway, but you're going to need that space because it you'll see the ends kind of expand a little bit whenever we get moving. So I'm going to get out my trimmer here, and so my card is 10 inches. So that means I'm going to cut my paper down to 9.5. So you're going to decide how many pieces of paper you want in this journal. I usually do about 7-ish pages per signature. This is not going to be big enough for 2 signatures. Your card just isn't going to hold that. If you want to do a binding or a spine, you can. But each page is going to give you 4 papers. Does that make sense? Because you'll have, let me fold it and show you. Actually, just let me use this. So let's pretend this is a piece of paper and you folded it in half. You have 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 pages. Okay. So if you get 7, then you've got 28 pages, right? 4 times 7 is 28. I'm going to go with 8 pages. This gets a little tricky because the more papers that you put together, the wider they start getting at the end. But I think we'll be okay. So we're just going to trim these down to 9.5. You can, if you have one of these, you can crease this if you want. We still have to cut the other end, but let's just do one at a time. This is my go-to way to make cute little journals quickly because I just really like them. They're super versatile. You can use them for planning, you can use them for scripture writing, you can use them for journaling. Then they're like about a month each, and then you can change it up and get a different journal. I don't know about you, but the exciting new journal thing really makes me happy. So they're small enough that they're not intimidating. If you mess up or something like that, then it's just not that big of a deal. It's just one journal, you know, and it's just a couple pages and it's totally fine. Okay, so let's see what we need our other direction to be. So we've got 7, so we're gonna go with 6.5 the other direction. Okay, don't mess up your directions. So this is the 9.5, so we're gonna turn this way and go 6.5. Because that's 8.5, okay? Because it's a regular size piece of paper. So 6.5. Oh my gosh. This is why I don't measure. I get all, So this is the 9.5, so we're gonna go this direction. Seriously, check it every time because you don't wanna cut it wrong because then you gotta start over. Or you got wonky pages, which is fine too. All right, 9.5, so do this one at 6.5. Oh, my pages are a little off. There we go. I find this one to be hard to measure by because of the cracks and trying to get it just right. All right, check it. 9.5. This is our 6.5 side. Okay. Now we have our papers all cut, easy peasy. And now we're just going to fold them. So I like to take them and fold them individually. It just makes sense for me. You can bone fold the edges of these if you want to. I think it just kind of depends. If it seems like it's too wide, then I'll bone fold it. But I usually just crease it with my fingers. So like I said at the beginning, for this, we're going to be, if you're in the group with me, I'm going to be using this for October, for our October plan. I just wanted something a little bit different and kind of fun to use for this month because we're doing something a little bit different. And so I wanted a little something different to put it in. And since we're not studying a whole book right now, and we won't be until January when we will start the Gospel of John. So just a heads up, if you want to join us and study the Gospel of John, we are going to be starting that in January. Okay, so you can see here where it's got this little bit of a lip here, and we may have to trim that off. You don't have to unless it's like sticking out of your book. but it's not sticking out of my book. I've got just a little bit of space there, so I'm just gonna leave it. The reason being is it's super tricky. It's super tricky to cut that off. Like, you wouldn't think it would be that bad, but it's actually pretty tricky. And then I've got a nice bit of space on the top and the bottom if I center it up like I should. Okay, so there we have the beginnings of our journal. Now we're gonna poke some holes. Super easy. You can fit this in here and poke it all at once if you want to. I would at least clip one side of it because it might wiggle. So kind of center it up where you want it, and then maybe just clip this right there so it kind of holds this in place a little bit for you. You can do this with a small hole punch, but I actually like using the all better. And for it, you just take a book, open it up to the middle. You can see I have done a lot of journals in the middle of this book. I go for the middle hole first just because that one's a little bit easier to eyeball. The thicker this is, the harder it is to get this through. But if you have multiple signatures and a thick spine, you're not going to be able to do it quite like this. But for this journal, this will be perfect. And we just poke that through, and it goes all the way through, and we're good to go. And it's got all the holes in all the pages, so there's no crazy mess up. Because let me tell you, I can't even tell you the amount of times that I've poked holes and then put my signature in there upside down, and then it's wonky. So if you do these smaller books and you can poke them all at once, it just makes things a little bit easier. And the book here helps to keep it, like that one got a little wonky, but the book helps to keep it kind of centered. And so when you go to poke your hole, it's kind of poking down into that crevice, and it just makes it a little bit easier and makes your hole a little bit better. And that is that. And then we just need some thread and a needle. Now, you can use cross stitch thread, you can use baker's twine, you can use ribbon, you can use a million things. I just like this brown, I don't know. And then just some darning needles like you would use to do in the ends of crochet. You're gonna take you a nice size piece and trim it off. This is the way that I do mine. There are other ways that you can do this, and so if you have a different way that you do this, there's not really a right or wrong. But this is the one that I find the easiest, and I just use it all the time. Okay, so we're gonna go down in the middle hole. Leave a tail, I don't know, tail? Then up through the top hole. This is super easy because everything's all clipped together and all the holes are all lined up like they're supposed to be. Down through the bottom hole, and then we're gonna come back up through the middle. Now, when you come up through the middle, don't catch any of the other, don't catch any of the other strings, because then you can't tighten anything because everything's all hooked together. Just like so. All right, we want to make sure everything's nice and tight. You see how loose this is? We don't want that. These are pretty loose as well. So I just pull one direction and pull the other direction on both of them. And then you can see it's gotten tightened up, and it's tightened up there. And then you want one piece of string on each side of this long from the top to the bottom piece, and then we're just going to tie over the top of it, and it just holds everything together. Super easy. Then you can decide whether you want to trim this off or kind of leave it for a bookmark. I didn't do it very evenly, and this one's super small, so I'm just going to trim mine off. If I can get my scissors untangled. Oh my gosh. There. And we're done. Like, that's it. That's all you have to do. Super easy. You could use some lined paper if you wanted lines in there, so you could use like some writing paper. You could print your own paper. You can put anything in here. I love this paper because it has this like antique-y look and feel. You could also go ahead and ink all of your pages if you wanted to. So if you wanted that antique look to it, you could do some frayed burlap, which is one of my favorites, all around all of the edges. Since I'm using all of these pinks and everything, I probably won't go antique, but you totally could, because these colors would probably look pretty good with a little antique-y color on top of them. So yeah, that's it. That's how you make a cute little journal, and you can do anything with this. You can decorate your whole front. I am probably going to print off some of the papers and make a small cover here, and then put probably that girl on the front, and maybe put one of the themes for the month on there: new beginnings, walking in God's peace, living loved as God's daughters, strength in the Lord, or light in the darkness. One of those I will probably choose to put on the front. And then as I go through, I'm just going to decorate each page based on the journaling prompt and the space that I have. And yeah, I am excited for this little journal. I know it seems simple, like it seems super simple, and it doesn't look like super pretty or anything, but when we get done with it, it really, really will. And I think you're really gonna like it once you get some stuff on the pages. So definitely head over to the group and show your journals off and show your pages off. Join us for the month. You can head over to growingyourfaith.com and /freebies and grab this month's freebie. And yeah, that's it, I guess. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I know it's quick and easy and nothing like super spectacular, but these little journals will like really get you hyped about journaling, especially if you pick out your own covers and you put your own pretty paper. You could do coffee dyed paper in here. That would be really, really pretty. I almost did that, but I didn't know if I had enough pages left over. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.